Storytelling Ron, are you a new DM or, in that new area and you're just like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm a new DM. I don't know what to do. Or or are you just like, what should I, how, why? Okay. So I'm here to give you some answers, some simple, fun answers. What do you do as a DM? What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to, lie? You know the questions. Okay. Here's the real question now. The real question for a new DM, beginning DM, Dungeon Master, Game Master, the real question for you is, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? That's it. It's not about what you think they want or what you think the rules are or what supplement or campaign you need or what material you need to buy. Okay, if you got your, you got your Dungeon Master Guide, which I don't even think you need that. Your Player's Handbook is really, the Player's Handbook is really the one where you need to understand all the rules. That's about it. Dungeon Master Guide is just extra stuff. You don't even need the treasures. Make make up your own treasures. And the Monster Manual. And the Monster Manual is just a joy to have. Or any kind of creature list is just a joy to have. So what do you want to do as a DM? Right? That's the real question. And so that's where you start. Well, what do I want to do? What do I want to see in this game session? Now, as you do that, you're like, well, what do I want to see? What do I want to do? What kind of villain? Start off with the villains. Start off with the monsters. Go through the monster manual. What do you want to see? Doesn't even matter what level it is. If you go look at my 357 video, I'll try to remember to put a poster. 357 video, and I'll even explain in this video just so that you can do it, just so you'll have it refreshed. But 357 is just simply can create any kind of creature or take the creatures in there and bring them down or bring them up to whatever. 3 means +3 or 3rd level and below, 5th level and below, 7th level and below. 357, and the 3 is +3 to attacks, +3 to blah blah blah, and armor class 13ish or lower if it's a first level, maybe 11, 13, 13, and 13 for difficulty class. Any kind of tests, strength test, save test, trap test, poison test, spell test, anything. Just make it a 13. And if they're first level, I would go down 12, 10. If there's a poison, then you got a 10 DC 10 con or 13 con if you want to make it a little tougher. That 3 if they're at that going up to that 3rd level, 3, 5, 7. 5th is 5, 15. 7, 17, 7th level, 7 plus 7, 17 for DC Con. So that's the kind of the range of what you're looking at. 3, 5, 7. Okay. And obviously, 3 is the minimum for usually like +3 to attack. Or a rat could be +1, +2, but 3, 5, 7. So let's say you're a new DM and the players are all new. So you're gonna have a +3 or lower, but +3. DC 13 for any kind of tests or skills or traps or around there. You can adjust it a little bit for them. And 13 is going to be the armor class as well as the creature that they try to hit. Now, obviously, if it doesn't have that much armor, you might want to go down to 10 or 11. And like goblins tend to wear a lot of armor, maybe, so you might go up to 15, 13, 15. But it's in that range. 3, 5, 3. So 3 plus 3, DC 13, armor class 13. Oh, hit points 30 or less. 30 or less. So first level 10ish, second level 20ish, third level 30ish. I mean, that's kind of how it works. It's kind of that basic as far as hit points, what they're hitting with or shooting with or whatever. +3, DC is 13ish, armor class 13ish, and what's the other one? What's the other factor? Damage. So damage. Think about that. Let me just pull these out, little props here. So for first level, 1 die 4. Just do a little 1 die 4 damage, right? Or maybe 1 die 6. +1, +1, +2, whatever. As they get to the mid level, you're going to do 1 die 6, 1 die 8, for damage. 1 die 6, 1 die 8. And then obviously for higher level, 1 die 10, 1 die 12. Or 2 die 8 or whatever. Anyway. And you do the same with the bonus. So if it was a 3, 5, 7, 3 plus 3 for bonus damage, +2 maybe. They're lower level. +5 for damage. +7 for damage. +7 hit, +7 for damage. But you can adjust those numbers, however you want. So that was a quick overview of 357. Anyway, what do you want to do as a DM? First though, rats. I want to do rats. Rats. Or large spiders. Scary bats. Ooh, dark gothic bats in the forest. Ooh, undead. Skeletons. Orcs along the road. Goblins. A young dragon, a wormling dragon. Dragon. See, think of a creature. Think of something you want to explore. And then get into that creature's mind or that creature's history. Think of a little story. Rats. Giant rats. Scary rats. Where do they live? Well, sewer. Cistern. Dungeon. We're starting to fill it up already. There's rats. We have an infestation of rats in the city. Tavern. Boom. Or a tower. Wizards. You got a wizard player that's a wizard and acolyte? Or apprentice? Or a cleric that's an acolyte? Huh? Well, we've got rat infestation. We need you to go down there. Think that wizard or clerics can go down there by themselves? No, they're going to need to go find some people to help them. And see? It's very simple. They got to go to the tavern. Get some help. Or the tavern. In its basement storage. We have a rat infestation. We need help. Okay. See? Very simple. Then they got to go down. Ooh, okay. Now, DC 13. DC 13 difficulty. And if they're first level, I would go 10, 11 difficulty. So let's just say 10. Or 11. 10. All right. 10 difficulty. What? Smell. Stench. Everyone save. 10 DC con. Difficulty class 10. Constitution save. If they don't save, disadvantage to all attacks. You're retching. And I would give them a little save, every now and then. Now, if it's a save that's really debilitating, like paralyzed or constricted, then I'd give them a save every round, especially if it's in combat. Because that's a cool new thing about 5e D&D is those kind of saves. But if it's sort of a thing like where they're at disadvantage to attacks or just disadvantage to perception, or ability scores, then they could carry that on for a while. And then what? If they ask, can I save again? And if they, well, what do you do to like make yourself feel better? Well, I drink some water from my canteen, from my flask or whatever, or drink wine. Okay, all right, I'll let you resave. If they have a reasonable reason that they could resave, let them do it. Why not? Have fun. So that's like a trap. That's already like a test. You want to give another trap. It's muddy, right? Muddy. Sewage. DC 12 dex save. If they fail, they fall into the sewage. So that's definitely either, now that's a disadvantage, or you could, what else could you do? You could just take some hit points off of them. Exhaustion. 1d4 exhaustion hit points. Remember, hit points aren't just wounds. It's exhaustion. Or you could take away their con bonus for a while. Just for a little while. They're feeling sickly, you could just come up with any little thing like that. And if they slip in the water, kind of sludgy thing. Or maybe they lose initiative. They always lose initiative because they're wet and stiff in. You know what I mean? Or they just have a disadvantage to perception because they're, as they're searching around in the sewage. Okay. There could be that fog, stinking cloud kind of thing. Another save. So they could have a series of saves. 1 for the stench, 2 for the slipping in the mud and sludge or whatever, and then 3 for this poison. You feel there's a poisonous mist covering the area. You all start to cough, So then that one could be another con save, 13 con save, and then if they fail that one, they poisoned, can't heal. That's a little rough for first level, but you could do that. You could just do they're at the Bane thing. They're at minus 1d4 to their attacks and saves. For however long, or until they can resave again. Keep it down. And then there's rats. Now, the rats. Or rats. Whatever. I would do, first I intro like 2 regular rats. Okay, I'm not even going to look up the stats. I'm just going to tell you what I think they are. +2 to attack. 2 to 4 hit points each. Armor class 12. That's it. I'm going to basic 1d4 plus just 1d4, maybe +1, but 1d4, and 2 rats come sneaking out, and they got a 12 or +2 stealth. Roll the stealth, see if they sneak up on them, and roll their perception, see if they see them, or their passive, or see if the rats can bypass their passive perception, whatever that is, and they get a surprise attack. See, now these are the basic rats, and they kill them. Let's say, and so then I've got the, I'm going to have a secret tunnel. Let's say it's a sewage line. They got to go down, or basement or dungeon, whatever it is. And it's all murky in there, and they find a hole. They got to crawl through that hole to get. They know that there's something in there. You can hear it. If they're all good perception. That's it. So then, so they got to crawl through. They got to roll athletics, DC 12 to get through well, or they get stuck, or they get hampered, disadvantaged to their attacks or whatever for this bit. Another simple thing. Or they could lose a weapon. You got to go back and get it. You got stuck and dropped and cling, cling, cling. And then the rats attack or something. Whatever. Okay, so let's just say they crawl through and there's a dugout space. There's a rat mom in there. So I'm going to make this a tough rat. Plus, I want a swarm of little rats. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm envisioning this ugly, ugly rat that gave birth to a bunch of little ratlings. Well, of course, that's... Yeah. And so there's a swarm of rats. So what would that be? That would be... I'm going to say +2. I'm going to say 2 attacks, though, because it can attack up to 2 people. Because there's a whole bunch of them. And 20 hit points. And 1d4. And it can really surround them and swarm up on them. And so they're at disadvantage to attack with regular weapons. Or they get a resistance to regular weapons. So they get half damage. Because they're so small. But if the person does a firebolt or something that has kind of more fire or area, then it does double damage. See? But it might hurt the other... But if the rats are on top of somebody, so they got to maybe do damage on the other person if they're on top of them. Something like that. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just going to do it. And then the big rat is going to be +4, +3, 1d6 plus 1 plus 2 damage. Hit points, 30. See? And when it attacks, it does... Oh, this is what it does when it attacks. It charges. And if it charges, it knocks you down. Strength 13 test. If you go down, then it gets an advantage to the bite. It does, and attacks you. That's the mama rat. So that's it. That's an evening right there. Now, obviously, you're going to want to have some role playing at the beginning, right? With the tavern or the old monk. You've got to go down there. Just get some help. Go find some help. He has 4 coins. Or the old wizard. Yeah, we've got a infestation down there. So, you know what I mean? And, so there's role-playing at the beginning of the tavern, obviously. Yeah, we sent the rat catcher down there, but hasn't come back. That guy's fine. He's got a lucky ring. A lucky ring. What's that? So like +1. So that would be the treasure. There's a +1 armor ring of armor, +1 ring of protection, right? +1 armor class. So that would be the treasure they could find, right? That's the goal. That's one part of the goal. And they can even say that for the cleric and the wizard. We sent the rat catcher down there, and he had a lucky ring, so we're pretty sure he's okay, but he hasn't returned. And, of course, the rat catcher's dead, in the thing. So, see? That's it. So, think about what kind of creature you want, and then think about that creature. Think about that creature and why it is where it is. A vampire. Vampire. Think about it. Okay, vampire, probably young. For low level. Let's make it a weaker vampire. It's hiding out somewhere in the outskirts of a town. Maybe it's taken over a family, or a barn, or bandits. It's taking them over, and it's kind of people are getting abducted, and you know what I mean. Undead, man. I want to do some skeletons. They got to be, maybe in a tomb. Maybe a ghost or a vampire came along and did that. Orcs. Oh, I want some orcs taking over. Maybe what's funny, they could take over like a bandit road. And the bandits are coming into town saying, hey, these orcs are taking over our banditry. Well, you can't. What are you talking about? You've been stealing from us. Well, but we've been fair about it. But these orcs are totally brutal. We need help, or help us, please. We've lost all of our, I can't, you guys got to go out and do it, So it can be fun like that. And I would do orcs like, I'm going to do 3 warriors, 3 archer goblins, and a tough guy, like a band, and think about those numbers too when you do that. And I always give the tougher guys one extra little, that charge, knock them down, get an advantage to their attack, or that extra bonus aggression thing where they could get that extra run, whatever, or maybe they have a shield wall. They know how to do that. The warriors, so they go slow, but they got a +2 to their armor classes. They advance on you, kind of thing. And then where are they hiding out? Well, along the road. Okay, what are some locations along the road? There's the old windmill. There's the old ruined old barn. Okay, there could be that. They could be at the old tower. Oh, that's haunted. You don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Or There's the cliffs, the perfect place for an ambush in that area. So you just think of what monsters you want to see. That's it. Think of what you want to do, because if you really get excited about what you want to do, you're gonna just do it. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna use my 357. I mean, use the stats, of course, for the monsters, but I'm saying that's how simple it really is. You can use 357 if you really wanted to, but it's still fun, and I still enjoy going to the monster manual, picking out some monsters. And what I like to do is I really like to type out do a little shorthand of the monsters and their stats, because as I'm doing that, I see they have this ability, they have this, they have that. Well, I'm going to use that. You know what I mean? And it just really helps me. And I put it in shorthand so that I can then access that really quickly when I DM. So think of monsters you want to play, and if it's too high, bring down its stuff. Doesn't matter. I mean, and guesstimate the XP. And I do XP. It's very simple to me. I do it. I use XP. I like using XP. I like the characters like it. I like adding up. And if it's not enough, so what? Just give them, and I'll even with XP, I'll even add a little more to like even it out, or evenly disperse them or whatever. But that's it. If you do what you want to do, not what you think you should do or what you think the material is or what you think is expected. Do what do you want to see? Do you want to see a crazy bear charging and just rampaging the place? Trolls. Ooh, trolls. If you want to do a troll that just moved into the nearby swamp or marshland. And again, always use the plight of the peasants, the plight of the farmers, the plight of the locals as the reason to go out and get things. Treasure-wise. Think of it, how would this troll, say, if it lived there and it's killing people, how would it get treasure? Well, you'd probably get it from the fishermen. Would they have anything? They might have they might have a lucky ring. They might have a swimming charm, something that they, in the treasure, something that gives them better swim, underwater breathing, better fishing, a great fishing pole. And then a few gold coins, 10 or 20 or 40 gold coins, whatever. I just use gold coins. I don't use copper, platinum, or silver or anything. I pretend that it's in the world, but I just let them do gold as their own thing. And keep it simple. Maybe it ransacked a couple of nearby farms and took out some shiny objects from there. Some candles and vases. So it'll have a couple of objects that are worth a few gold. But that's kind of it. And magic item wise, again, I always like the magic items to sort of to be simple and suit the stats, like +1 to this, +1 to that. Adds an extra, gives you a bonus attack, or gives you, a bit of advantage on initiative rolls. I always kind of think of it in that way when I give them arrow of speed, which is an arrow you can shoot on a bonus turn. +1 arrow. +1 dagger. And remember, not all +1s have to be magical. A +1 dagger could be just a really well-crafted dagger. I never make a +2 anything but magical. But for +1s, I like to play with, it's just very well-crafted. It's not necessarily magical. So you can do stuff like that, and it only lasts so long. And I like to do a lot of very either low magic or low bonuses, 1 use per item. What am I trying to say? Like oil of sharpening, or a plus. Like I like to do a blacksmith. He can sharpen your sword and give you 4 +1s. So for the next 4 attacks, you get +1. Well, for 4. You know what I'm saying? And then it's done. Then that was like 10 gold. So you get, you know what I mean? Things like that where you get a little bonus, but it lasts for a little bit, and then it's done, and then you got to go back and get some more. I like to do stuff like that. So very simple, very low bonus stuff that you can pay for and get. Okay, so this is just a little drum on about new DM stuff. I didn't script it. Sorry. Some people are asking me to script, and they like my stuff, but they don't want me scripted. I just want to talk anyway. But I might try to script though at some point. But that was just my advice for new DMs. Do what you want. Pick a monster. Think like that monster. Why is it here? Why is it threatening the people or in this area? Why is it a threat? Why did it have to come here? What is it doing to build up its lair, its place? How is it hiding? How is it hunting? What does it want to do in the area? Is it trying to survive? You know what I mean? And is it dumb so that it just does crazy stuff? Or is it really smart and trying to figure this out? I wouldn't go really smart because that would give me a headache. Just semi-smart. Just remember, arrogance needs to be played into this. A lot of creatures that are evil that succeed at things too quickly get a bit arrogant, so they get kind of stupid. So please put that into the story as well. Okay, so that was it. That was my rambling on advice for new DMs trying to figure out how to create their story around the world and use tropes. Use tropes. Use the tavern. I love using a tavern. They say it's overused. I don't. Why? You know why? Because we all love it. An iPhone is overused. Well, maybe we should stop using iPhones. Well, you know what? Everyone uses iPhones or smartphones. Whatever. Use taverns. Use a blacksmith. Use a tanner. Use the basic stuff. Use a mean sheriff who or local, guards who are suspicious. Do all that. I use a knight that's, use the tropes. Have fun with it. All right? And remember, do what you want. That's going to make you get excited. All right.